The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Thursday episode of Running Point, your favorite middle of the day local sports talk show. I'm sure you have so many to choose from. We thank you so much from popping into Ysn's Running Point, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They go the extra mile for you so you don't have to. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. And we appreciate Greenwood Chevrolet for their sponsorship of Running Point and everything that we're able to do at YSN. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, make sure to go down and check out Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They will take care of you. Anthony Hartwig with you on this wonderful Thursday, December 7th. It is Pearl Harbor Day. For those of you that don't know, December 7th, 1941 marks the anniversary of the day that America officially entered World War II, and it kind of was a day. I know we feel so removed from World War II because it was, over 80 years ago, and we think, that doesn't really mean anything to us now, but literally December 7th, 1941 is a day that didn't just shape our history as America. It changed the course of human history. Things would have been a lot different if World War II went a different way, and a lot of historians would tell you that when America entered the war, it was one of the turning points of that whole conflict. When we came over, we just said, you know what, enough's enough. We're not going to say that Hitler is Europe's problem anymore. We're going to get involved because, we realized all of a sudden after Pearl Harbor that we're not invincible. We're not just going to sit in our own little island and not be touched. We can be touched. Japan hit us hard. And when we went into World War II, we changed the course of human history. There's no other easy way to put it. A lot of people sacrificed their lives to change world history in that sense. A lot of people had to, unfortunately, lose their life in Pearl Harbor to turn that tide and to switch the opinions of the American public on the war. But when you look at the way it ended, obviously, and the things that came about the way it ended, I think it's kind of solid proof that sacrifice brings greatness, and ultimate sacrifice in this sense. When you talk about Pearl Harbor, over 1,000 sailors are still entombed in the Arizona at Pearl Harbor. If you ever have the opportunity to get to Hawaii and see the memorial, it's something else. You're standing on a graveyard. When you walk over that bridge and you look down and you can see the clear water, it's not deep. You can see the wreckage. It's something else. It's I would compare it to if you went to the 9/11 Museum Memorial in New York City. Kind of has the same feel. You're literally stepping on hollow ground where something very tragic and important in history happened, and it's one of those moments where you just kind of feel out of body experience, and you're like, whoa, this is something else. But Pearl Harbor Day is a day where we remember, right? It's a day where we just take a minute and pause, I think. And I hope all you listening out there are not too far removed, so far removed from the World War II that you don't understand the impact of this day and the importance of this day, not just in our history as a country, but the history of the world and human history as a whole. Because as I said, if that war goes differently, I don't think any of us like the way the world shapes out. We've seen Man in the High Castle. We know how bad it would have gone if it went the other way. So that being said, Pearl Harbor Day. Take a minute, take a moment of silence. I'm going to do it right now, and then we'll get on with the show. All right, we had plenty of basketball to get underway last night. It was a boys and girls kind of night on Wednesday, like most Wednesdays are going to be this year. So let's pop into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com, which is presented very proudly by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Here it is on ysnlive.com/scores. This is a great tool for our fans. Whether you're at one of the games yourself in person or you're watching one of our broadcasts, we thank you if you are. You don't want to look away from the screen or the action for too long. The YSN scoreboard is a quick and easy way to get live updated scores. We have a team behind the scenes that is very dedicated to making sure the scoreboard stays as live updated as possible. So you don't have to wait until midnight for the final scores to come in. You can quickly look and see how maybe your rival is doing, or maybe one of your friends that is playing on a different team is doing. Whatever you want to know, it will be on the YSN scoreboard, brought to you by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let's start with Salem and Carrollton girls basketball. A very good game. Both offenses were really playing well. Carrollton is a very good basketball team. They beat Marlington earlier on in the season. They're going to give West Branch, I think, a little bit of a run this year in the EBC. But Salem put up a heck of a fight, and at the end of the day, though, Carrollton gets to win 68-65. Reese Davidson Chuck had a great game for Salem. So did Riley Hutton, as they combined for a lot of their offense in that game. Riley Hutton's having a great start to the year. Let's just be real. Her speed, athleticism, and then the ability to drive. First step off the dribble is so good for Riley Hutton. It's so hard to defend because you can't react fast enough to it, and then you're out of position. And unless you have help on the backside of that defense, you're not gonna be able to get in front of her on the drive. And then a lot of people are late getting to the help. And she draws contact, she gets to the free throw line, and she's good at finishing through that contact as well. So Riley Hutton, really good basketball player, but I like seeing a little bit more of the secondary players step up a little bit more and more every game. I think there are going to be a lot of players that get confidence as the season goes on for Salem, and you're going to see more and more of those players start to step into their own a little bit. You got to remember, this is a Salem team that has a lot of new faces. This team lost a lot of players to graduation last year that meant so much to the varsity program. So there are a lot of players that are stepping into brand new roles, stepping into bigger roles, and it's going to take just a minute for them to grow into those roles. And I think once they do, that Salem culture is going to come back. That Salem culture is going to ring true. They have a great kind of core group of leaders there. They have a great culture, a new coaching staff, of course, that is doing a great job with them. And I think Salem, they're going to take their bumps in the beginning of the season like they already have. But the beautiful thing about high school basketball is it really doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, everyone gets in the tournament. As long as every loss you suffer gets you better, and you get better the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, and you're playing your best basketball possible when you get into February, it really, at the end of the day, these losses do not matter. Once you hit that bracket, everyone's in, everyone's 0-0. You use every game to get better. I know people want to win the conference, and that's obviously a great goal to have, and it's most teams' first goal to go and win the conference. And regular season wins are obviously how you do it, especially inside the EBC or whatever conference you're in. So I get it that it hurts. You don't want to lose the conference, but at the same time, like, you gotta put it in perspective and say, okay, we lost this game. It sucks, but in what ways can we grow from it? In what ways can we get better by it? And how are we going to be the best team possible by the time the tournament comes around? Because I think Salem already knows that they've probably got knocked out of contention in the EBC. This is their second EBC loss. You gotta really believe that West Branch and Carrollton, these teams aren't going to lose twice, probably. And even if they do, it means you would have to go from now on and win every EBC game, which would be a lofty goal for sure. So now Salem can get locked in and say every single game we are going to get better. We are going to be ready for the tournament. That's it. That's it. Does it result? Of course, matters. You want to win every game, but now Salem's in this boat where they're saying, win or lose, the first goal is making us better. And hopefully that comes out of a win. Hopefully we get better by winning. But if it doesn't come out as a win, let's take the next step the next day and get better. So we are at our best in February. Everyone gets in. So think about high school, every sport in high school except football, everybody gets in. So when you get into the tournament in February, late February, early March, and you're saying, hey, we're 13-7, or we're 14-6, lost a couple of games that we probably feel like we shouldn't have or that we're upset about, but who cares? Because now we're 0-0, and all that matters is how we play right now, and that's what I think Salem's going to be locked in on for the rest of the year. And like I said, a lot of those players are going to be stepping into more and more confidence as the season goes on. I could see that last night for sure. Great broadcast, by the way, by Luke Davis. If you haven't heard his call for basketball, you definitely should. He does a great job. He'll be on Salem all season long. We go on to the next one, a very good one in Hoban, in Akron. Howland gave it a heck of a fight, kept in striking distance for most of the game, but at the end of the day, the Knights just too much. They hand Howland their first loss of the season. Final score here, 66-52. Just too much offensive firepower for Hoban, too balanced. Devin Harris had a great game for the Knights. And these Knights feel like they have something special going on right now. They really do. Talking to Pam Davis before the season started, she realizes that she lost a good core of people, like a lot of teams in the Ysn family, graduated to great senior class. No more Rasmussen, obviously. She was the emotional leader of that team. But now you start to see, oh, man, the people that she had waiting in the wings, not fair at all. This Hoban team is talented. You could argue on the floor, maybe a little bit more talented than last year with some of these young players that have stepped into a bigger role and have had that year of experience and their great leadership. Man, I like watching this Hoban team. Howland, though, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. They're going in that AAC. When they play a team like Boardman, they play a team like Fitch. Those are going to be knockdown, drag-out battles. This Howland team took 1 year where they had to lick their wounds a little bit from losing a great senior class 2 years ago. But here they come this year. And, it's Barish, it's Hozo, it's Masucci, of course. A very good Howland basketball team that is hungry for getting back to regionals. They were there 2 years ago, lost to Maslin Jackson. They want to get right back. And Alyssa Masucci right now is playing with her hair on fire. And there are a lot of good things happening in Howland. Boardman suffers their first loss of the season as they fall to a Uniontown Lake team that is starting to get healthy. We've seen them against a couple of other YSN teams early on this year. They lost one of their best players to a very not serious injury in the preseason. So their first couple of games, a little bit wavy, a little bit shaky. Not the Uniontown Lake where they were used to, but they're getting healthy. And they proved how good they were last night. They take it to Boardman. Final score was 68-50. Uniontown Lake gets the win. When you're playing a schedule like Boardman, a lot of big and nasty D1 teams are coming at your doorstep. And you got to be able to absorb nights like this where a team just comes out and outplays you. It's going to happen in Division I. And just like we're talking about Salem, where it's like, okay, how do we get better from this? That loss does not hurt Boardman at all. It's not in the conference. All the only way it hurts Boardman is if they let it, right? I've said that before with sports when I'm trying to talk about teams' losses. The only way it hurts you is if you let it, because it doesn't hurt your tournament hopes because everyone gets in. You could argue it might hurt your seeding a little bit, but now with Max Preps doing the seeding, maybe not. Who knows what their algorithm is? We're gonna have to all find that out this year. But at the end of the day, Division One's a gauntlet, and maybe it's good for Boardman to get exposed to it a little bit and just be like, hey, let's keep in the mindset back of the mind that yes, Division One is very, very good, and there are teams in our district, Uniontown Lake. I would assume Uniontown Lake will probably be like that 6 to 12 seed, maybe. Like they're not a 1 seed in Division One, and then they're not going to be 1 through 4, but they're good enough. They're going to be that middle of the pack, and Boardman's going to be like, hey, this is what middle of the pack and Division One can do. If you don't show up, and play at your best, they can really take you to the woodshed, and they're not the best in Division One in the district by any means. So a little bit of just keep it in the back of the Boardman's mind that like this is the level of basketball we need if we want to succeed in the tournament. Night in, night out doesn't get any easier. The schedule that Jeff Hamilton put together is going to constantly show those players this is the level that we have to consistently stay at every single night. And if we don't, these teams are going to beat us. It's that simple. These teams that might not have the best record, especially when we go later on in the season, we're playing them in January and maybe they're sitting at 5-10, or they'll play teams that maybe are like 7-9. Yeah, but they're big Division One teams that are playing gauntlets of a schedule. So 7-9 would be, 20-0 on some other. Well, that doesn't do the math. Would be 16-0 on a lot of other people's schedule in the Ysn family. So you got to be able to just have that reality check every now and then that every night has to be the consistent, really, really good basketball, especially in Division One. This is a different animal when you're talking about Division One girls basketball. East Palestine has won 2 in a row. They went on the road last night, went to Toronto, got the 3-point win, 48-45 over the Red Knights. Big one for the Bulldogs. They'll look for their 3rd in a row tonight as they go and they host Valley Christian, a part of a 3-game week for East Palestine. They had a win on Monday over Lisbon where Gabby Andre scored her career high 19. And another good night last night with 48-45. Bulldogs get the win. And now they have a Valley Christian team coming in that is a conference foe that they can get another win on. All of a sudden, you see East Palestine starting to build momentum, starting to build belief, confidence. You got to love it out of the Bulldogs, a team that is not too far removed from a very successful season. They're starting to gain more confidence. And we just talked to Gabby Andre a little bit ago. Her player profile will be up on the website very soon. And impressive leadership there from her for this East Palestine team. Last but not least, we go to Austintown Fitch. 5 wins in a row for the Falcons as they take care of Ursuline. Final score there, 55-28. And the Falcons look really good right now. They're starting to work on all cylinders. Then you imagine what they're going to look like when Kylie Folkwine comes back in the lineup in a couple of weeks, because she's dealing with a little bit of an injury, but nothing season ending. So when she gets back into the fold, then she gets back into basketball rhythm and gives them another weapon to look to. This Fitch team might be striding at the right time. Certainly, they're on a 5-game winning streak. They look really, really good right now. We go down to boys basketball. There were 3 games last night. Conneaut got the win over Northwestern. Sorry about that. Not the team from Chicago, not the college basketball team, of course. 70-55. The final score there. Lakeside and Pymatuning Valley play a thriller. This is back-to-back really tight games for Pymatuning Valley. Remember, they went to Jefferson and won 71-70, and now they get a really big fight from Lakeside on the road again, 72-68, the final score in that one. Pymatuning Valley proving early on in the season that they know how to win very close games, and they will make game-winning plays down the stretch. So, the Lakers are looking really good, really good. So, Pie Valley gets another win in the 4-4-0 by 4 points. 72-68 is your final there. We go down to Orange, a tough one for them as they fell in a very good basketball matchup, 69-64. They lose to Fuchs Mizrachi. Fuchs Mizrachi. I don't know. I've never heard of that ever. Never heard of that school, but they got the win. So congratulations. I'm going to say Tornadoes? Storm? Yeah, one of those two. That'll do it for your scoreboard for tonight, for last night. We only had about 9 games to dive into. We also want to give a shout out to West Branch. They went on the road last night in the EBC on the girls' side. They got the win 53-30 over Alliance, so they are still undefeated, and they are still trying to cruise to a conference championship. This Alliance team was going to be someone that everyone thought might give them a little bit of trouble, but the first matchup, which is the road one, which is the most important one, Warriors look all good. 53-30, right around the same score that they've had in their other EBC games. That 20-point threshold for the Warriors, looking like it's going to be consistent for them this season. And I'll tell you what, I think West Branch, Coach DeShields, you're looking at his schedule, I think he realizes that this is a window year where they can make a good run, like a regional championship state run. You know, you look at he has respectively declined some local teams that he usually plays and put bigger names on their schedule because I think he feels, man, we gotta take this opportunity this year and run with it and test ourselves as much as possible and really, really get ready for this tournament because I think when I'm watching them and I'm watching Sophia Gregory run the point at, as tall as she is, I want to say 6'1", but I could be wrong, might be 6'2". Either way, you see she's a matchup problem every time she touches the ball. But then you see Livy Showalter giving them the rebounding that she is and the hard work in the paint. The 3-point shots from Chloe Dennison and Audrey Eaton, they're both weapons. They can attack you in so many different ways. It is so hard to defend. One, because a lot of teams just can't match up with Sophia Gregory at all, period. Like, you can't. It's a matchup problem. But then, even if you can, there aren't a lot of teams that can play man-to-man and have the roster to guard Sophia Gregory, stop Olivia Showalter from being in the paint, stop Carter Shepard, who I think is a big unknown wild card in that offense, who can play a little bit of guard, can shoot the three, but also does a really good job in that high post for them in the mid-range area and can drive. So you have to guard her. Then you have to guard their 3-point shooters and Dennison and Eaton. Not a lot of teams have someone that can match up with 5 different high-level offensive basketball players. And then their defense is just locked down so far this year. So not only do you have to defend them, you have to defend them really, really well, really consistently to beat them. Because I guarantee there aren't going to be too many teams this year that score above 45 on West Branch. So not only do you have to match up with them and play really good defense on them, you have to do it enough and well enough and consistent enough to get them below 45 points, which is going to be tough. I honestly think, the team that's going to beat West Branch the most this year might be West Branch. Like, if they come and make some mistakes or turn the ball over too much or don't shoot well, that can obviously hurt them. But I would be hard-pressed to say that a team will come in this year and just beat West Branch while West Branch is playing well. I don't see it happening. I just don't. Like, I've seen that team a couple of times already. I saw them against Marlington and I saw them against Minerva. Both teams were just lost against West Branch, lost against the defense. And a lot of teams are going to be outcoached, quite frankly, by Walter Shields too. So, good luck playing West Branch this year if you got them on their schedule. I'll tell you that much right now. This girls team might be my pick for a team that has the best chance to go to state this year. I know there are a couple of teams that have those aspirations right now in Division 3 and 4. Springfield, I think, looks strong. Crestview looks really strong in D3. Hoban looks really, really good in D1 as far as state level goes. But I'm looking at West Branch, and I'm thinking to myself, that region is kind of wide open more than the other ones, because Division 3, you got Laurel. Division 4, you got Buckeye Local. Division 1, you're going to have you have a gauntlet just in the district. I'm looking at Division 2. I'm like, well, there's Canal Fulton Northwest in there. That's going to be pretty good. But I'm starting to think there's no one in that region that's like scary to West Branch right now, the way I've seen them play. Could be wrong. Got to do a little bit more research on the region. But I know the teams that were in there last year that beat Canfield and in the regional and obviously beat West Branch. Those teams that were there, they had a lot of seniors. So I'm starting to think that, man, maybe West Branch is wide open to go to Barberton this year and go to state. But I will say, can't forget about Canfield, who is also in that regional and has a matchup with West Branch later on in the season. Because Canfield is a team that is surprising me with the level of basketball they're still at. I thought it would take them a little bit to be at that level, but not so fast, because they're not missing a beat from the seniors they lost last year. Cammie Ritz is playing so well. Traveri's playing really well. McQuiston. They have a good group right now that is kind of just stepping into their own, and I like what I'm seeing from Canfield. So can't wait for that matchup later on in the season between West Branch and the Cardinals. I'm excited for it. Got a lot of basketball left before we get to that point, of course, as we are so early in the season. But can't wait. We will take a break. When we come back on Running Point, we'll talk some more. Don't go anywhere. Running Point is always brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm YN proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats, because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Thursday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. And I was talking about Division II, and off the air, Eric Bailey sent me a text reminding me, by the way, Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary is Division II. That's going to be a team that will be contested with for sure, athlete for athlete. They're probably going to be someone that can give West Branch a game, but I still very confident in West Branch's ability this year. And I think that's why you see Coach Shields, and you look at the schedule that West Branch has put together this year. There are some teams that would normally pop up on a schedule that I think don't this year. And I think it's just because he's stepping up the game. I think he realizes this is a year we can make a run and we have to take advantage of it. And he's just, hey, we're going to gas up our schedule a little bit. We're going to respectively call some of the teams that we would normally play in, just tell them, hey, we need a more exposure to really, really, really good basketball teams, and respectively in the best way possible. Coach Shields will make that call, and he has made that call. Doesn't mean any disrespect to the teams. He's just like, hey, we have to be real about what level we're at right now and who we need to expose ourselves to. So I like that. I love Coach Shields' ability to do that and not offend anybody in doing that the way he can do it, because a lot of people would get that phone call and feel like they just got slapped in the face with that decision. But I think Coach Shields has a way of saying it that is just like almost is like, oh, okay. No one feels bad about getting that phone call from Coach Shields, which I think is cool. But yeah, like I said, West Branch is going to be a favorite. Howland is in there. I talked about them. Howland is hungry. They just went toe-to-toe with Hoban. That's all you know about Howland. They're a hungry group of players. They'll be in that district as well. So you got to watch out for them. Canfield, obviously. We're going to learn a lot about what Canfield's level is at later on in the season when they play West Branch. So that being said, we have more season previews and coaches' corners to get to. I know we had a couple of days off from getting to them, but I want to play another one here for you. As we have the time, it looks like we have about another half an hour of the show. So I want to get to a coach that I am a big fan of. Ty Bartell was able to do his interview. And I think he's got a group that we kind of like. We've been talking about some of these girls teams. Has a lot of young players that will step into their role eventually, but they're going to have to take their lumps early on. And we've seen them do that here early on in the season. But I think because of the caliber of coach that this man is, and because of the culture that is there, and because of a few of the leaders that they have in Liberty, we're talking about Levon Lamb, by the way. I think they're going to be a team that will constantly build confidence. They're a young basketball team. They add talent out the wazoo. That's got to be a little bit more comfortable with this level of basketball, and I think they're a team that is going to have to realize that we might be 11-11 or that 500 mark at the end of the season. But as long as we are a lot better in February than we were in December, then we're going to be okay. And I think they're going to be one of those teams that is going to have great strides this season because of how young they are. They're going to mature quickly because they do have good leaders on the floor. Evan Bates is a fantastic basketball player. He's going to lead them by example and by his vocal just maturity. You know, I heard him talk on the floor against Mooney, and he's got a lot of just things that you want out of a leader. And so I have a lot of confidence in Liberty being able to build into a team that will make some noise in the tournament after they, you know, go through their lumps a little bit early on in the season. They're young. They're very young, but they are talented, and they will have a lot of good players that will grow into a confident bunch. So here's Ty Bartell with one of our friends and one of the friends of the show, and a great coach, great man, Levon Lamb from Liberty. Here you go.
Ty Bartell in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time I'm joined by the head skipper over there at Liberty, the head ball coach, Levon Lamb of the Leopards. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Ty?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad myself, Coach. I'm curious with practices right now. This is where I always like to start with a lot of the coaches because we're gearing up for the season. December 1st is right around the corner. A lot of teams have practices. A lot of teams have scrimmages under their belt now. Some are just starting. Obviously, it's different for everyone. But for you and your Leopards, what are practices looking like?
They're going pretty good right now. We're doing a lot of new stuff. As you know, we lost 2 or 3 good key players from our team last year. We're starting out pretty young. Pretty much new. So we were doing a lot of just hammering fundamentals, a lot of shooting, a lot of dribbling, just a lot of the fundamental stuff that you need just when you have a brand new team and you need to, incorporate those things first before you can move on and advance to everything else.
Obviously, too, with a young team, there's a little bit of give and take, right? Yeah, you don't know exactly what you're going to get on the floor, but neither does your competition either. So it always has a little bit of an excitement swirling around it. Coach, I want to get a chance to actually go in depth and get a chance to meet some of these guys on this team. I know maybe the roster isn't finalized yet. We don't know all the spots, but who are some of these big impact players or some names we can expect to see out of the Leopards this year?
Right now, we were, leaning on 2 of our returners who did actually see some varsity time last year, which was Monty Franklin and Evan Bates. Monty Franklin, unfortunately, plays football for us as well. He suffered an injury, and he's out for the first couple of weeks of the season. We're looking forward to getting him back here soon. Evan Bates is a guy that's a scorer. We look to him as one of our leaders. He's actually been in some tough games for us, and we're just looking for him to come out, help us with the young guys, get them on board with our style of play and some things that we do, and just to get those guys going for us.
I could expect the first half of the season, first 11-ish games or so, really want to get these guys' feet wet too. And obviously with the postseason tournament, everyone makes it anyway too. So you're competing for conference crowns, you're competing for things like that, but you're also trying to develop your team for that second season. What are some of the early goals in like that first half of the season that you want to see from these younger guys and trying to get them developed at the varsity level?
Well, first of all, we look at just how they handle it. We have a lot of freshmen this year that's going to be playing at the varsity level for us, and I know it's a different level, a different type of speed. So we're just, looking to see how they handle the first couple of games, how they handle the crowds, how they handle just the fast pace of the game, and how just the difference from 8th grade to the varsity level. Also, we're just looking at and just hoping that they get better every night. I mean, you want to go out and win, and you want to, every game, but we want to just, our goal initially is for them just to go out and just to compete. We can compete, give our chance to, give us a chance every night or every game night to go out and possibly win the game. That's a good thing. But I'm also looking at, we're also looking to see them get better and progress every night as we go out and play.
The thing about this conference, too, it gives you that opportunity to get better each and every game because, I mean, there's no nights off in this MVAC Gray side. From your perspective, from a head coach perspective, what do you see out of the conference this year? What kind of competition is it going to give you?
I think the conference is wide open. It's not, you can't I never go in trying to say it's this team or that team. We always know who, the heavy hitters are. We just kind of look at everybody the same and try to approach every game the same. We just try to go in and just get as much, scouting information and information on the team, and we go on as prepared as we can, and just trying to put, the guys on the floor that we feel that's going to help us be successful. You got to come and play every night, even at home. You got to come out and play every night. It's not just, it's not a given that you're going to win on your home floor either. So we just try to, put them in the best position that we can, like I said, via scouting, information, player personnel information. And then we just hope that we just come out and compete every night and just give ourselves a chance to win and come out, victorious at the end of the night.
You guys pair the tough conference with a pretty nice non-conference schedule, I'll say, as well. And you guys are going a little bit everywhere, too. I mean, you got teams from Akron, you got teams from down in Columbiana, too, in the non-conference. What do you like out of this non-conference? Are there any kind of challenges you're excited to present your boys with?
I think they're all challenges. That was one of the things I wanted to do with us being such a young team. I wanted to give them that different look of just not playing all local teams. I wanted to get out and play some teams that we normally don't play, just to give us a different look to kind of, prepare them and get ready for what we'll see, in our conference down the line, going into the playoffs. Because, you never really know who you're going to play until to that, the draws at the end of the season. And then also, we wanted to go on the road a little bit to get those guys that experience of learning how to play and playing in that type of atmosphere. Hearing the crowds, hearing the other student sections chanting and cheer and say things. And that was one of the things we looked at. We wanted to kind of get them prepared early just for that challenge. So that was one of the things we did.
I always respect the respect and admiration your boys always look at you with too, year in and year out, and you can see it from the sidelines, you can see it from the announcer's perspective as well, Coach. So I think you're doing a great job over there, in my personal opinion. What keeps you coming back year in and year out for this program? What keeps the love, what keeps the drive going for you to keep coming back and giving back to this community and this school system?
It's just the passion for the game. I mean, my story never changes. Just to go out and play and at the level that I played in high school, and then be able to go and play at the, Division I level. And my coaches always instilled in us, when you have a chance to come back and give back, that's what you do. And that's always been a passion for me. I'm thankful that I ended up at Liberty. I have a good group of coaches that I have. My staff, they're behind me. We're all on the same page. We're on one accord. And the players, I mean, it's difficult sometimes as a coach when you go in and you want to kind of instill your passion and your desire on a group of young men. But it's, when they don't, you got to try to find other avenues to try to get the best out of them. And I just like how they just they look up to us, they listen to us. They kind of they're engaged in a process, and I just like where we at, what we're doing. It's always about progression and moving, getting better and moving on and moving forward. And we have that here at Liberty. I mean, I have a good group of kids. They're around each other all the time. They all play the sports. They hang around with each other. They like each other. They like being around each other. So I think we're in a good, it's a good spot and a good situation over there at Liberty.
I love that Liberty community too. They're the definition of gritty too, and they always love supporting winners, and they love supporting their kids no matter what. Coach, you mentioned your staff a little bit, and I want to give you a chance to kind of go a little bit in depth, because I know you can't do it on your own. I know building a program, it takes a group of people and a concerted effort to do so. What's that staff look like this year for the Leopards you were mentioning?
I have all my coaches returning. Darren Johnson, which is my first assistant, head JV coach. Damian Daniels is my first assistant. And this year, for the first time in a few years, we're actually going to have a freshman team. And my freshman coach is Andrew Starr. I like our coaching staff. All of us played high school basketball. Some of us got to play at the next level. We have a lot of experience, a lot of expertise in basketball, and that's what I like. You know what I mean? Any one of the kids can actually go to any of us to get, to ask questions, to get, additional details or insight into the game, because we played it, we've been there, and we know it. Damon and Coach Darren Johnson, they've been with me the whole time I've been there. Damon The first year started out at the as my 8th grade coach. We were able to move him up the year after that. He's been there for the last 4 years. Coach Darren Johnson has been there from the beginning with me from day one. So we've been there together 5 years. Coach Starr, he was running my 5th and 6th grade program. An opportunity came up, and I was able to move him up to my freshman coach. These guys are very knowledgeable. They have a passion for the game, just like me. They watch basketball, they study basketball, and I couldn't have a better staff.
I love that you guys have basketball guys that love the sport, want to be a part of it too, and guys that also care about the community and the program as well. And I think that consistency at the top is always crucial for success, long-term success, and building a program, no doubt. You talk about all that though. You talk about the staff that you put together and just everyone you got helping you out this year. And obviously it's gonna be fun once again having that. But building this basketball and getting kids interested. And after the COVID year, it felt like basketball kind of took a hit, right? It took some hit in numbers and everything. So I'm glad to hear you guys have a freshman team again. What is it like just creating and generating that interest, engaging that interest of young kids to continue playing that sport after the middle school level and come out and try at the high school level?
It just takes just a show of us going down there and just showing support. Just being down there with meeting the kids, going down there. We go down to practices. We invite them over to our practices when they're not practicing. Game days, home game days, we let them come back with us in the locker room, see our pregame routines. We let them shoot around with the guys when they can pregame, before the team that we're playing arrives at the school. So we try to just combine all the programs. So it's just like one big happy family. They know us, we know them. All our coaches, from 7th grade on up, are connected. We talk daily. We're always, pulling at each other's mindset, for basketball and things that we can do in different situations. So I think it's like you said, it's more feels like a family thing. Like I just enjoy my coaching staff. And like I said, I feel I couldn't have picked a better staff. Everybody is very knowledgeable. And then just dealing with the kids, I think just seeing how we're connected like that and, what we're doing and some of the things that we're accomplishing, I think that helps. But secondly, I just think just going out and just talking to them and just giving them ideas of like how we the direction we want the program to go and how they can help us in the future and just being around and seeing what we do. I think that helps a lot too.
I'm excited to see basketball out of this conference. I'm excited to see you guys play too. We here at YSN, we're certainly rooting for the Leopards this year. Coach, yeah. Before I let you go, though, I got to give you one more question, and it's kind of been a theme I've asked all head coaches this year, and it goes back to that love of the game. And you might be a fun one to talk to about this because I know you have that love, you have that passion. It's what got us started in the sport, right? It's what keeps us coming back each and every year. It's because we love the game, right? No matter what our position, what our role is in the game each and every year. Where did that love of the sport of basketball start for you? Do you have an earliest memory or a pinpoint moment where you remember falling in love with the sport?
Ooh, I started playing in the 7th grade. And I think actually the term for me was when I start actually learning the game and I start being able to do some of the things that my initial coaches wanted me to do. Scoring, blocking shots, and then, rebounding and doing some things. And then I think it took another turn for me when I see how well I can do those things and how I could help our team and benefit our team by me getting better and doing those things to help our team win. And then I think once we got on the roll of just winning, it just got, it got fun. And then I just fell in love. And I just didn't want to, put it down. I wanted to be around it all day long. I wanted to play it every chance I got. And like, some of the, NBA players, and you hear some of these other guys and college players say just in the lab, I just was always playing, always had a basketball. Every chance I got, I played. So it was an early on love, but I really, really loved it when I got to high school and was able to play and then getting better and then, advancing my basketball IQ, my mind, and then just seeing the things I was able to do. And then once, you get better, then, your name kind of get out there. And then when coaches start coming to recruit you and look at you, and then they tell you how good you are and how you can help their program. And, you start looking at yourself and it was like, I really can do, I'm really doing this. Like I really do this. So it was an early love. Then I had like a second level love, if you want to call it, once I got to high school, and then all of the success we had there. And then after that, man, just being able to get to college, being recruited, to be a D1 athlete is just, awesome in itself. But being able to go and play at that level, it just took it to another level, if you can say it that way. And I just, man, my passion is, if you know me, if you've been around me, man, I love the game. I study it, I watch it, I constantly talk about it, and I just love the game. And like, I'm just there. It's just my passion is just so high. And I just like to see the success of kids when we touch them and we're around them, we're coaching them, and they're, they're getting what we're trying to coach and teach. And then to see the success in their eyes once the light bulb goes off. And that's what's really keeping me coming back, just the passion for the game and the love of the game.
It's a brotherhood and sisterhood that connects us all, man. It's the love that we all have and share for this game that keeps us coming back every year. Coach, I'm so excited again for this year. I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. We're rooting for you here on the network, and we can't wait to have some more Liberty hoops on YSN once again this year.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Ty. Yep, have a good rest of your day.
That was Ty Bartell and Levon Lamb from Liberty Basketball. And we are definitely gearing up for a great season for Liberty. And like I said before the interview, what a great coach, what a great guy to talk to. We've had him on the show a couple of times, and we've definitely done a good number of interviews with Coach Lamb. But you watch Liberty, and you might not see it yet because some of the scores have been kind of tough, but really tough schedule, one. And two, they have a young roster. They have a young team that is going to grow into their role, grow into their confidence, grow into their ability. And you might see them make a stride in January and February and go, man, that's a much better team than they were in early November, in early December. So I think Liberty is one of those teams that can definitely be a scary team when they get in the tournament, because if they hit that stride, depending on when they hit it, they could be, one of those middle of the pack seeds or even lower, and be a team that is starting to really get confidence heading into the postseason. So Liberty can be scary, and I know Coach Lamb is going to definitely coach them up well all year. Let's hop into the scoreboard and hop to tonight and tell you what games are going on across the YSN family. Tonight on December 7th, we'll go down to the bottom of the scoreboard and click on December 7th. If you haven't used our scoreboard yet, this is how you do it. Here are the games that are going on tonight on the basketball front. We have Valley Christian going to East Palestine, United traveling to Latonia. We got Southern Local going to Wellsville. Middle Ridge looks to stay undefeated. They go to Sebring. McDonald travels to Lowville. Lisbon goes to Columbiana. Hubbard goes to Cheney. You got Garrettsville Garfield. They're traveling to LeBray. Crestview going to Liberty. Campbell Memorial going to Newton Falls. Pymatuning Valley hosting Ashtabula St. John. Springfield travels to Jackson Milton to open up the MVAC Scarlet tier for the Tigers and the Blue Jays. Lakeview travels to Youngstown East. And last but not least, Beaver Local hosting Bel Air tonight in girls basketball. In boys basketball, one game going on tonight. It is Edgewood boys. They are hosting Spire Academy. On the wrestling front, our first wrestling broadcast of the season will be tonight in South Range as they host Southeast in a dual meet. We'll also be keeping our eyes on West Branch and United going up at it tonight as well. So those two matches are going to be ones to watch. Big weekend for wrestling, as a lot of teams are going to be in action in the first tournaments of the season as well. Let's go over the announcer crew and who will be out at your games tonight. We will have plenty of action tonight, as there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 girls basketball games on the network, 1 boys basketball game, and then 1 wrestling match as well. So here are your games of the network and the announcers that will be there. Bel Air at Beaver Local, Gary Burton and Scott Rogers are going to be on the call for that one. Matt Marr is traveling to Liberty with Crestview. I will be in LeBray for Garfield at LeBray. That should be a fun one inside the MVAC gray tier. Our Lakeview crew, Sam Ballast and Jake Nicholas, going to be traveling with the Bulldogs as they take on Youngstown East. Ty Bartell will be in Jackson Milton for Springfield and Jackson Milton. Larry Scragg going to be in Latonia for United at Latonia. We have Quinn and Scott Hinthorn. They're going to be in Lisbon as Columbiana comes to town there. And then Gary Altizer will be in Wellsville as they take on Southern Local tonight in EOAC action. Wrestling, South Range and Southeast just got canceled. So that's a breaking news right there. That game no longer happening. So breaking news on Running Point right now. Wrestling Southeast at South Range is no longer going down. Those were two teams that both had two state-ranked wrestlers. So we were kind of looking forward to that one, but unfortunately it has been nixed from our schedule. For Anthony Harvig, this is myself signing off today for Running Point. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Check out the games tonight at ysnlive.com/